The space colony has the ability to provide a facility in space where human beings can conduct fruitful industry.
Living and working in space is a possibility with existing technology.
Welcome to the White Lotus in space. How was your flight?
We flew over the North Pole.
It has been the dream of many for more than a century, with half of that leading towards a reality of space tourism.
Oh, that view is tremendous. It's one small step for man.
Take us space!
According to a report by Research and Markets, space tourism will be worth $13 billion by 2030.
Our vision is millions of people living and working in space. We want to reduce the cost of getting into space dramatically. We need to go into space if we want to continue to have a growing civilization.
So how long do you plan to stay on Mars?
2 weeks.
In 2025, however, primarily wealthy participants and celebrities have been able to travel into space.
I was once a child with a dream, looking up to the stars. Now I'm an adult in a spaceship. If we can do this, just imagine what you can do. Yay!
Virgin Galactic has sold tickets at around $700,000 for their suborbital flights.
The world will have a new astronaut by bidding the highest amount.
While Blue Origin reportedly requires around a $231,000 deposit to secure a seat, with previous auctions for seats on Blue Origin flights reaching over $43 million.
And that is sold $28 million.
However, as these space flights become more common over time, with increasing cost-effective advancements such as SpaceX's reusable rockets, many predict that space travel will mirror the development of air travel, with fares possibly costing as much as a plane ticket today.
We're in the early phases of a pioneering industry. The privatization of space travel, people will poo-poo it. Oh, it's an indulgence for rich people. That's what aviation and air travel was in the 1930s. And now anyone for a couple $100 can get on a plane and fly to Europe. I think there's a future where you will be able to do it as a weekend trip. Instead of going on a Disney cruise, hey, let's go, we'll do a couple of days of training and we'll go up. I think the price is going to come down dramatically. More people are going to have the opportunity to have the experience that I did.
But outside floating around, will there be any extra incentive to going into space?
Fine. And now you're staring into black. That's the thing. Into black ugliness. You go, whoa, that's death. That's what I saw.
That's amazing.
Oh my goodness.
Experts say that in the next 30 years, with spaceflight becoming more commonplace, there are plans already at work to expand the human experience of space.
Welcome to the Hyatt.
Thank you.
When we built the first space Hyatt, we kept all the familiar touches Hyatt is known for on Earth.
Welcome to Hyatt, sir.
Multiple companies have plans for space station-like hotels that will orbit the Earth, housing guests and enabling scientific innovation and discovery.
It's what makes Hyatt the greatest space on Earth. Wish you were here.
The Space Development Corporation is closest to achieving this, with the first opening of their small Pioneer station possibly ready to host 28 guests. And the more ambitious Voyager station, a resort hoping to house up to 400 guests, with luxury villas and amenities, restaurants, bars, and a zero-gravity basketball court, is set to begin construction in 2026. It will also feature artificial gravity, allowing travelers to stand, walk around, and sip cocktails with an Earth view.
We have a variety of platforms that we're developing to allow the everyday person to live, work, thrive, and play in space. You'll be able to do the flips and all the fun stuff that you see in the movies and with astronauts, but at the end of the day, you can sit down, have some really good food, have a nice drink, and look out the window and see Earth spinning below you.
This unique environment that's only a couple of 100 miles away from us is both transformative and accessible. It's incredibly exciting.
Blue Origin and Sierra Space are also developing Orbital Reef, a commercial space station that will also accommodate space tourism, while Axiom Space is working on a commercial space station that will initially attach to the International Space Station and later become independent.
This will be really the first time a fully commercial element has been part of the complex.
Axiom Station is going to allow humanity to be a multi-planet species.
Like space travel initially, space tourism will likely only be available to the wealthy, with stays in these hotels likely to cost millions.
Just because people are rich doesn't mean they're not trashy. I just don't think at this age I'm meant to live an uncomfortable life. I don't have the will.
As it stands, the industry will also have to contend with the environmental consequences, including increased greenhouse gas emissions from launch vehicles, as well as a long list of safety measures in place, so space tourists can weather the challenging environment.
Actually, I've changed my...
In the United States, there have been roughly 400 flights that had a person on board. There have been 4 fatal accidents. That's a 1% fatal accident rate, which is pretty high. So it is risky.
If they screw up and hurt people, that is going to bring about a backlash that is really going to cripple their industry.
We're going to have a bad day in space, and that is part of this domain because it is complex, it is dangerous, inherently dangerous.
However, with large corporations hard at work and technological innovation continuing to rapidly develop, with the further goal of colonization of both the moon and even Mars closer than ever, space could become the most sought-after place to go on holiday.
There's a quote from Plato. The essence of what Plato said was that for one to understand the earth upon which we live, they must rise to the very edges of the atmosphere and beyond, for only then will they understand. Space tourism, in my opinion, gives us the opportunity to deliver on Plato's thought. That for us to understand our earth, we have to rise to the very edge of the atmosphere and beyond.
It is the frontier of the future, and way stations in space are the stepping stones for its exploration.
No! No! Piper, no!